Brieface, how'd you do? You kept playing some and creating some music as we were going. You want to
yeah.
play some?
Sure. This is what I was able to muster in, we had 10 minutes?
Yep.
And so I just wrote a little kind of nice loop for you, and here it is. Oh, let's try that again.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
We're adjusting in the live venue. We're at the VFS Cafe in Vancouver at 390 West Hastings. We are good.
Sure. Here it is.
You just made this just now?
Oh, yeah.
This is amazing.
And there we go. I mean, that's just 10 minutes of work for you, but...
That sounds so cool. That sounds
thanks.
great, dude. Have you got your stuff into a game yet? Has that happened for you?
No. I've always thought about it.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm very protective of my hobby as a hobby. You know?
Yeah,
and so
gotcha.
I love just being able to make, make music for myself.
Right.
But that's not to say that I'm not looking for opportunities to maybe see my stuff in a game.
That'd be amazing. I'd like to see that happen.
Thanks.
Let's have you play some Ghost Recon. Are you a Ghost Recon fan? Have you played any of these?
Oh, unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say that I haven't.
Okay, no problem.
But if you can hold my hand a little bit.
Yeah, here you go.
I mean, not literally, but...
Yeah. I'll hold your hand, Brieface, no problem. Okay, so you, I think you just go press up on the bat wing up there.
Oh, here we go.
I'm the ghost, yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom, and then you got to hold it down. Okay,
there
good.
we go.
Okay, so we're loading in. First thing it says, drone. First on the first screen, we got drone right there on the left-hand side. There will be drones in this military game, which comes out tomorrow. It's the new Ghost Recon massive adventure. It's called Breakpoint, and brand new. We've just crash landed in the jungle, and I don't know what happens because I've not touched this. I haven't played this at all yet. So try not to die. And I think you're going for the circle over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm...
You are very hurt.
Next to crawling.
Yeah. Yeah, we started you nearly dead. Is that okay, Brieface? Is that all right?
I'll manage.
Okay. Yes, right. We've got a good comment here from a fat chimp. I hate this whole trend of having a cursor on the screen with hold to accept. Yeah, it's kind of like a PC tip of the hat, isn't it? It's like we're moving a mouse around everywhere. It started with Destiny, I think. Destiny was one of the first ones where you're moving an icon on the screen to where you want to select. Oh, and Smash Brothers has it too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like just clicking through the buttons. Yeah, I much prefer that tactility. Good comment there, fat chimp. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is Let's Play and Chat. If you got any comments or questions, any questions for Brieface, you let us know. Dr. Gamelove said more. It also says, I never kept my old consoles because I always had to trade for the new ones. I wish I did keep them. I'm trying to keep my stuff now, though. Yeah, it's funny how we've come right around with how enjoyable some of that classic stuff is, except for Strider. Tried it again, did not like it. I promise that I'm going to keep playing Strider until I can appreciate it. Great question from Nintendo Boy 17. I'd like to see that from the... Okay, question. Vic, with 2010s ending, will we have a best games of the 2010s for Rocket and Reagan? That's a fantastic idea, Nintendo Boy 17. So the best game of the decade in the Rocket and Reagan Awards. Was that this decade? I don't... Blake, his de facto answer is always Half-Life 2 or Star Trek. That is an awesome idea. I think we should make that so. Best game of the decade. So that'll give us lots to talk about and discuss. In Vic's defense, Strider is better on the PlayStation 1 compilation and not the Genesis. There you go, Blair Farrell's always got my back. Thank you. Anyone excited for the new Call of Duty? Chris Dugan. I am excited. I don't know what to make of the story yet. I got a nice taste of it, but it should be quite harrowing and sad because they're trying to adhere to some real sense of realism. And as we know, a lot of this conflict is just horrifying, and I'm excited to play it because I know it's been made with a tremendous amount of artistry and some incredible technology. So it should be beautiful to behold, but also tough to get through in some ways. Multiplayer, on the other hand, is candy. I've already played a bunch of multiplayer. It is so much fun. They've done some great stuff with night vision goggles and, and sort of dropping the HUD. They've also done this gunfight mode where it's 2 against 2. It's super addictive. I'm really looking forward to Call of Duty. And I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how the world responds to the single-player campaign that they put together. Question from Tyfish. Have you been following all the sick news updates on Arrowverse crossover? Holy crap, seriously going to be insane. I need to get caught up. I have seen the Brandon Routh in the Kingdom Come Superman suit. And somebody mentioned I saw one of my Facebook buds posted it, and somebody mentioned they should just cast him as Superman in a new movie. He was terrific in Superman Returns.
Yes,
that movie was not a bad movie, but it wasn't amazing, but he was great.
I liked how he channeled Christopher Reeve.
He was great, man. Yeah,
great.
me too.
Yeah.
Like it made you sad seeing the movie because you could not think of the Christopher Reeve days, which maybe isn't the best mood to project in your superhero franchise picture. But that was also kind of beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
Ralph is a very, very competent, cool actor. He seems like a great dude. Pardon me? Dylan Dog from, not sure. I'm not sure. He was apparently he played like a darker character. Yeah, well, I think he's super interesting, and he totally fits the role of Superman. But there's lots of good things going on with this Arrowverse crossover. Yes, getting very excited for that. Question from Blair Farrell. For someone who's trying to reach out to game developers for a project, what advice would you have for someone without a big industry presence? I think Twitter is an unbelievably useful tool. It really is. I've made connections for EP through Twitter. I think you just have to be cordial and direct, and have some persistence, but also have the story to back up what you're trying to do, and start there. And generally, I find game developers, in my experience, are pretty open, and they're pretty amenable, and they're pretty eager to communicate with the community. Because a lot of their contributions into the world go unnoticed, like their games sell and they get to keep working on cool things, but not often are they kind of not necessarily put on a stage or a spotlight on them, but they appreciate when people recognize their work, and if you make the effort to find people that make good things and you let them know that you appreciate their work, that will be received well, especially in the video game industry. Comics are the same kind of thing. Question from Taz. When publishers go to subs, do you think that yearly iterative games should go the way of the dinosaur and take the Rainbow Six Siege route? It's going to become a whole new arms race when it's subscription. It's going to be not unlike what's happening with all of these very expensive shows that Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Disney Plus are all spending on right now. I think that's what's going to happen for games. I know that everybody's freaked out about this big change, and it's not going to be instant. There's going to be a lot of blood on the streets and a lot of companies closing and a lot of pissed off gamers. But eventually, you're going to have mass amount of people, because that's what subscription means, right? Like that's what's turned Netflix into this multi-billion-dollar industry. That's why Disney has pulled all of their movies off of Netflix and is launching their own streaming thing. People want the entertainment that they can have at their fingertips immediately, and games will get to that. And what that's going to mean is, as these companies attract more and more and more subscribers, they're going to have to invest in bigger and bigger projects. I think we're going to see more single-player, incredible games like God of War and The Last of Us and Uncharted than we've ever seen before, because the subscriber base is going to be there, and they're going to demand that kind of entertainment. We're going to get one of those on one service, and people are going to go, why can't I have that? And that means everybody else is going to do that. Right now, the video game industry has a major problem where, and I've had conversations with publishers about this, you guys know me, I want superhero games like crazy, but they're not going to be able to make a Spider-Man level or a Batman Arkham Knight level video game all over town in the video game space because the developers just aren't there. You suddenly flip the script a little bit and you turn the tens of millions, maybe 100 million people into 500 million or a billion people on a subscription. You know, and I know it's going to take a long road before we get to that, but those multiples of people paying a certain amount of money every month is going to unlock some doors that allow for unbelievable narrative interactive excursions. But I also think Brett's in the audience, and he suggested that sports games and titles like that are, you know, yearly, like Call of Duty and stuff, will probably also adopt some service type things where there's continuous upgrades. But I think it becomes a game of locking as big of an audience for as long as possible to your title, and just like it is for watching a movie on a subscription service or a TV show. Like Friends is a huge asset that Netflix is losing because NBC Universal is taking that back, and it's going to be, or did somebody just bought the rights to it was Seinfeld. Yeah, Netflix bought the rights to Seinfeld. So it's like these proven entities that draw in so many millions of people. They're worth a ton of money, and games will get to that too. And it's going to be bumpy, but they're going to be really incredible. And also, one of the major limitations is do people have the same hardware? Well, imagine when hardware is a non-existent issue, you know? I'm excited about it. I know it's utopian, but that road is going to lead to some pretty interesting, interesting experiments. And certainly I think a lot of the sports stuff is all going to change. I think a lot of this nickel and diming through microtransactions and loot boxes is going to disappear. I don't think the games industry is going to be about that for much longer, honestly. Will there be a limit to how large in gigabytes a game can get? No, Rick Savage, that's the thing. Storage is not an issue. The only thing that's an issue is bandwidth. And I think the reason why Google is making this investment is because they've got to play long term, and Amazon and like all of these companies, They don't currently own the infrastructure. They don't currently own like the railroad tracks, the equivalent of the railroad tracks, which is the telcos that own the data transmission lines into our homes. But they're making the deals so eventually they'll be either partnered with these companies in massive ways, because if they're producing content that needs to stream at, you know, incredibly high speeds and has to have consistency, they're going to back-end fund a lot of that stuff, and they're going to be participants in it, if not outright owners of a lot of that stuff. And I think that's what Google's sort of outlining for itself with Stadia, and I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon makes some big plays like that, and Microsoft. You know, I don't know. It's crystal ball time here a little bit, but I don't think Google's messing around here. I don't think this is just a little tiny dip in the toe in the thing. And I don't think Apple's messing around with Arcade either. You know, if Arcade gets enough subscribers over the next little while, it's going to be one of the biggest platforms for video games, you know. I know you can look down your nose at it just being mobile games, but if there's a, you know, 20 million or 50 million or 150 million, I don't know what the subscriber kind of you know, target is, but conceivably with 2 or 3 billion iPhones out there in the world, it could be pretty high, and that's going to change a lot of stuff. It just will. Question from Kevin S. Vic, do you think that the 10th generation, not the upcoming generation, will be the generation of consoles, the last generation of consoles as we know it due to streaming? You know what? This was supposed to be the last generation of consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. There was shock that these machines sold as well as they did, and particularly the PlayStation 4, and that was going to be it. So I suspect that we are entering the last of it with PlayStation 5 and Xbox. All of this information about crossplay, moves like Microsoft publishing games on the Switch. The Switch itself is proving out a whole different kind of model out there. The fact that Nintendo doesn't have a dedicated handheld and a dedicated console. Everything is in flux and changing, and streaming will be that new... It's the new technology, the new hurdle, and if it's achieved, you know, there is a big if there, but if they achieve it, then it's going to ratify and completely kind of change the way we get our games forever after that, for sure. Will I be reviewing Dragon Quest 11S? If yes, when will it be ready? I will have a review for it. I've been playing it over the weekend, and I've played the game already before, so I kind of know what I'm doing with the game. But I'm expecting I'll be able to shoot something tomorrow, so you might see a review of that. I've also got a review of Ni no Kuni 2 coming. I'm going to be playing this as soon as I'm sort of wrapped up with those two massive RPGs. This looks great, by the way. Doesn't it look good?
Just try not to die.
Yeah, it does look really
Which
good,
I guess
though.
is the point of most games.
Oh,
yeah, I figured.
You're not supposed to fight him. I think you're supposed to get to him, but they're shooting at him because he shot. Did you shoot it at our buds?
No, I just got seen.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also like a PC gamer. I can't really do first-person console controls that well.
Oh,
so
you're a PC guy. You're doing
yeah.
fine, Brightface. You're showing off the game. David Gill says, will Canada be getting a TurboGrafx 16 mini release? I've been hearing no. I don't know. Oh, don't shoot these, Brightface.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do?
I'm just gonna hightail it to the.
Oh, you got to run away from him.
Yeah.
But you're running right at him. You're running right at him.
It's okay. I was
You're
gonna head to that
Brightface.
waypoint.
But You're,
Oh, well.
you're dead. You're KIA, buddy.
I'm dead.
KIA, my
Oof.
friend.
Apologies.
Yeah. Oh, French language issue for TurboGrafx Mini. Holy crap. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. That's what the rumor is. I think eventually it'll probably get here, especially if the sales demand for it is high enough. But, yeah, that's brutal. I guess we should probably start something on Twitter and hashtag the hell out of this. If you're a Canadian gamer that wants the TurboGrafx 16, we got to start a movement. Let the it's Konami that's making it, right? I think Konami is releasing the thing. Let's let them know we want that thing. I was looking forward to that. Have I played episode 2 of Vader Immortal on the Quest? This is from our friend VR Grid. Nope, not yet. I'm very excited about all that Quest news, though. Holy crap, Oculus 6, whatever it's called, Oculus, what was it? Oculus Festival? It was fun. There was lots of cool things in there. I'm looking forward to that. Like connecting my Quest to my PC and the hand tracking, all that stuff. Last question. This one's from our friend Johnny Dark. Says, do open world games need to change up the formula when it comes to gameplay structure? I feel like I keep taking out enemy camps, gathering herbs, and chasing dots around a huge map. Yeah, I think you're absolutely onto a thing that's affecting a lot of gamers out there. What's interesting to me is that Ubisoft is making a ton of these open world games, but they aren't making maybe as many games in a year. So they're doubling down on this kind of experience and letting them live for a long, long time, as we've just witnessed with Assassin's Creed Odyssey and with Far Cry to a degree. And this, the Ghost Recon Wildlands game went on and on and on. It had lots of great DLC, and people just lived in these worlds. So they've proven out that if you keep populating these big open worlds with cool things to do, people will keep finding it and keep coming to this game. But there is this exhaustion level that sits in, for sure, especially if you pick up 2 or 3 of these in a year. It's like, oh my God, I got to do this again. Yeah, that's something that game developers definitely have to contend with. I mean, it's easy to argue that Red Dead Redemption 2, as phenomenal as it was just too overloaded with tasks. You just felt like you had another job. It's like you showed up and like, I'm a cowboy now. Going to be a cowboy for the next 8 hours. See you later, life. Yeah, but all in all, not bad problems to have, right? Brightface, thank you for coming in, my friend.
All right, thank you.
You
for
were
having me.
fantastic. I never had live music performed and created right on the show. Such a cool thing. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday. I don't know who our guest is. What's that? Oh, yeah. We have got, what's the name of the show again?
It is Overflow.
Overflow on October 22nd at the Fox Cabaret in Vancouver with fantastic composers from the gaming space. Brightface is the organizer, and what a treat to have you in, my friend. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday with a brand new EP Live for you. Until then, play forever.